Omar, a boy with spiky hair and a mischievous grin, wasn't exactly known for his generosity. He ruled his snacks like a grumpy sultan, hoarding his dates and pistachios with fierce possessiveness. "Mine," he'd declare, guarding his treats from his little sister Yasmin. Yasmin, with her bright eyes and sunny disposition, would just giggle and shake her head. "You'll learn, Omar," she'd say. "Sharing is caring." But Omar remained unconvinced. One scorching hot afternoon, Omar's mother announced a trip to the legendary Oasis of Abu Dhabi. Legend had it that the Oasis held magical secrets and wondrous sights. Excited, Omar packed his most prized possessions: his comic book, his magnifying glass, and of course, a big bag of dates. "Don't forget to share, Omar," Yasmin called out as they set off into the shimmering desert. Omar just rolled his eyes and muttered under his breath. The journey to the Oasis was long and arduous. The sun beat down relentlessly, and the sand stretched endlessly before them. Omar, tired and cranky, clutched his bag of dates tighter. He dreamt of reaching the Oasis and finding a shady spot to devour his treats in peace. Suddenly, disaster struck. Omar tripped over a rogue tumbleweed, sending his precious dates flying through the air. Dates rained down around him, some half buried in the sand, others rolling away in the desert breeze. Omar's heart sank, his precious snacks gone. He felt tears pricking his eyes, but he quickly blinked them back. He wouldn't cry, not in front of Yasmin. He looked up to see her standing over him, her face etched with concern. "Don't worry, Omar," Yasmin said, her voice full of sympathy. "We'll find them." And so began the great date rescue mission. Yasmin, with her sharp eyes and boundless energy, scoured the sand. Even Omar's mother joined in, her laughter ringing out across the dunes. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the shimmering mirage in the distance solidified into a breathtaking sight. Palm trees swayed gently in the breeze, their emerald fronds framing a crystal-clear pool of water. This was it, the legendary Oasis of Abu Dhabi. A wave of excitement washed over Omar, eclipsing his earlier grumpiness. The Oasis was even more magical than Omar had imagined. Exotic birds with feathers of scarlet and gold flitted through the trees, their songs filling the air with sweet melodies. The air hung heavy with the scent of jasmine and orange blossoms, a welcome change from the dry desert air. Omar, his earlier grumpiness forgotten, felt a sense of wonder wash over him. Section 5, A Feast for the Eyes and the Stomach. As they entered the Oasis, they were greeted by a sight that made Omar's jaw drop. A group of travelers, their faces lit by welcoming smiles, had gathered beneath a sprawling acacia tree. A feast lay spread out on a colorful rug: dates, figs, flatbreads, hummus, olives, and sweet mint tea. The aroma was intoxicating. Never had Omar seen such abundance. One of the travelers, a kind-looking old man with twinkling eyes, beckoned Omar closer. "Come, young man," he said, his voice warm and inviting. "Join us. We have plenty to share." Omar hesitated for a moment, his old habits dying hard. He looked at his bag of dates, then back at the feast before him. Section 6. Kindness returned, a lesson learned. For the first time, Omar truly understood what Yasmin meant when she said, "Sharing is caring." It wasn't about losing something, it was about being part of something bigger, something warmer and more wonderful. He smiled shyly at the old man and accepted a date, its sweetness heightened by the spirit of generosity in which it was offered. The afternoon flew by in a flurry of laughter, stories, and shared meals. Omar listened, wide-eyed, to tales of daring desert adventures and ancient legends. He learned new games, shared his comic book, and even found himself offering his remaining dates to the other children. And you know what? It felt good. Really good. Section 7. The Gift of Dates, the Gift of Understanding. As the sun began to dip below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, it was time to leave the magical oasis. Omar, his heart full, turned to thank the kind old man. The old man smiled and pressed a small pouch into Omar's hand. "Remember, young man," he said, his eyes twinkling, "kindness like these dates is always sweetest when shared." Omar clutched the pouch tightly, his heart overflowing. He finally understood. Kindness wasn't about giving up something you loved. It was about creating something even more special, something that had the power to bring people together. He glanced at Yasmin, who smiled back, her eyes shining with pride. Section 8, the new Omar, Sultan of Sharing. From that day forward, Omar was a changed boy. He became known as the Sultan of Sharing, always eager to offer his snacks, his toys, and his time to others. He learned that the true magic wasn't in hoarding possessions but in the joy of giving and receiving kindness. He discovered that a single act of kindness, however small, could have a ripple effect, spreading joy and warmth like sunshine across the desert. And whenever he felt a flicker of his old grumpiness returning, he would remember the magical oasis of Abu Dhabi, the taste of sweet dates shared with new friends, and the wise words of the kind old man. Section 9. A ripple of kindness in the desert sands. And so, the tale of Omar, the grumpy sultan who transformed into the Sultan of Sharing, became a legend whispered on the desert winds. A reminder that even in the harshest of landscapes, the smallest seeds of kindness can blossom into something truly extraordinary. The oasis, with its shimmering waters and generous hearts, remained etched in Omar's memory, a beacon of hope reminding him that kindness, like the desert sands, stretched endlessly before him, waiting to be shared.